turkey decoys. How do you use them and what combinations work the best? Let's talk about it.
Whether you're on the hunt or on the line, we're on it, ensuring your equipment is as ready as you are. Providing precision outfitting backed by experience you can trust. STX Archery and Outdoors. Fueled by failures, powered by purpose.
And what's going on, everybody? My name is Donny with STX Archery and Outdoors here in Edna, Texas. We're coming to you today, answer a couple questions, maybe give you some ideas of what's gonna come up here. It is March the 12th. We are 2 days away from opening weekend of turkey season here in Texas in some counties. County I hunt in, DeWitt County, we open up Saturday morning. We are excited. We cannot be any more excited. We've been waiting all year long. If you like me, that's all I love to do is turkey hunt. It has become a huge passion of mine. So with that being said, the moment May 1st hit last year, I was waiting for March 14th, man. It was a long wait, but it is coming. It's 2 days away. So today we want to talk to you about turkey decoys. I'll get a lot of questions about this, and we're going to give you some insight on the way that we like to do things, the way it works for us here in the birds that we hunt. Not saying that this way is the only way to be, not saying that this way is, or anybody else's way is wrong. I am just saying that this is the way I like to do it, and a couple things I keep in mind when I'm hunting for these turkeys. And so, again, my combinations may not work for you. You may have found that a combination that you like with decoys works better than what I'm saying, and that's totally fine. I'm just giving you some general insight and what to look for and to run a successful decoy setup. So first, we'll cover some decoys. We sell Avian X here at the shop. So that's the decoys that we run. That's the decoys I've ran for multiple years now. And they make outstanding decoys. The attention to detail is awesome. The HDR, which is the hardened decoy, is very awesome, very durable and sturdy. So we'll go over a couple of those real quick, and then we'll start talking about maybe how you actually run the setups and a good combination of the two as you're progressing through your season from the beginning to the middle to the end. All right, so right here in front of me, I have my personal 3 hens that I like to run for the Avian X line of decoys. The first one that we will talk about is your lookout hen. Okay, this is a hardened bodied hen. It doesn't collapse down or have to be blown up. Feet can be manipulated around however you think that you need to do it. If you need to put them lower to the ground or whatnot. This decoy does have a removable head, so you can go non-alert and then alert. Anyway, one of the good all-around hens to have is just a standard lookout hen. Another one that Avian X has that I use quite often is our feed hen. This is a hen that is clearly just feeding on the ground. Same thing, very hard-bodied, no collapsibles, just good old feed hen that we have. Very beautiful in the detail, obviously. So, and then the third hen that I like to run, and this is an LCD hen. This is the collapsible one. Avian X LCD laydown hen. This is your breeder hen. This is the hen that's gonna get a lot of magic done for you. We'll talk about that in a minute. But this is the laydown hen LCD version from Avian X. Same type of beautiful detail, but this does require like an air pump, kind of blow it up and get it to the right shape for you for season. So great hen. You should always, 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 always have one of these hens. So now we'll cover the Jake and we'll cover the strutter. Right back at you. This is the HDR full strut strutter. from Avian X. You can see you can go full tail fan, half tail fan, 3/4 tail fan back here, and the back over here, right? We got a changeable head where you can go mad, you can go icy white. We got the adjustable beard, and it's, you know, got the, where my hand goes in, and you can actually use this as a bodied, you know, kind of with you decoy. But again, use at a specific time. Other than that, we put it on a stake. So full strut decoy from Avian X. And then the next one that we have is going to be the Jake. The Jake. One of my favorites, removable head. You can go non-alert and alert, or aggressive, non-aggressive, aggressive, however you want to call it. Anyway, full strut Jake, or sorry, not full strut, but full hardened Jake, HDR. So these are the 5 decoys that I keep in my decoy bag all the time. They never come out, and I never go anywhere without them. And depending on the time of the year is when I will figure out the setup, the combination that I'm going to use chasing turkeys. So we're going to cover three main setups, 3 main scenarios that I think everybody should know and needs to know when it comes to turkey hunting. The first one is going to be your early season turkey hunting. This is going to be something that I'm probably going to deploy in 2 days, March 14th. Again, scouting comes into play here because a lot of times you need to be able to read the language of the birds. You need to be able to know what the birds are doing already. We went scouting last 3-4 days straight. We've got on some birds, so I kind of have an idea of the way that they're behaving already. And so I kind of know what I'm going to do Saturday morning. With that being said, every area that you hunt may be a little different, so it's kind of important to know that. Where scouting really comes into play with there. We're talking about decoys and setups. My favorite, personal favorite, early season, I'm talking first 2 weeks of season, decoy setup is right here. And you can even only run one if that's all you had, that's no problem. Feed hen and a lookout hen, I think this is a really good setup to start. This will bring in a lot of gobblers. You will bring in some young birds as well, so you get to dictate whether you want to shoot them or not. You want to wait for the more dominant bird, that's no problem. But early season breeding is really starting to get kicked off, and so there's an abundance of hens and there's an abundance of gobblers, and so getting these guys' attention on these 2 hens will get them to come in. You might get a group of 3 Jakes, you might get a group of 3 Toms. Pecking order may not be established just yet. There could be a lot of different scenarios going on, but this scenario right here, this setup right here in the decoy side will, if you get a gobbler to lock in on this decoy, they will come in. Can't promise you it'll be a mature bird, a dominant bird, but it will be a gobbler. He will come on in and they will come do their thing. Again, giving you the choice of what you decide you want to shoot and kill. The law in Texas states that you are allowed to kill a bearded hen or gobbler. So all that means is if he gobbles at your call, he is legal to kill. Though again, that's at your discretion whether you want to kill a Jake or a Tom. If he gobbles, you know, it's not for me to judge or decide. This setup right here will bring them in. As long as you can get them to commit to the decoys, this setup will bring them in. This is a great setup for early season because it will get some action coming your way. And you know, we done finished deer season like end of December, beginning of January, and it's been 3 months you had any action. This right here will get them coming and get your blood pumping and get you excited. Again, giving you definitely some options of what you want to shoot. You want to kill, you want to wait, you want to pass, whatever, this will do it. One of my favorite early season setups, feed hen followed by a lookout hen. You know, just something I know that is effective and it works for me. It's always worked for me. And I think that a lot of people at this moment in time tend to use the male decoys, right? The Jake or the Strutter a little too early or maybe at the wrong time. And so these guys right here, excuse me, these ladies right here will get you the birds coming in. So my favorite early season tactic. Now we're gonna move into let's just say this is the first 2 weeks of season. Now we're gonna move into like say week 3 of turkey season, and I'll show you what my personal setup would be for the mid-season turkey hunting. Mid-season hunting, generally the third week or so of turkey season. Now, keep in mind, no timelines guaranteed. You do need to read the language of the birds, right? Kind of know what's going on with the birds you're chasing. But my favorite scenario is not necessarily all three, but this type of deal. We're gonna have a laydown hen followed by a Jake. This right here, now the feeder hen can be subjective. You don't have to put her out. It's good if you do, you don't have to. It works, it don't work. It just doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. Putting her out, just it's another hen, really. It may or may not make your gobblers more comfortable. You know, it just depends on the bird you're chasing. But this right here is what you're keyed in on. Mid-season turkey hunting. This right here is what you key in on. We have established a pecking order for the birds. Your dominant gobblers generally have already surfaced. They have already let the other gobblers know, hey, I'm Big Daddy, back the hell up. Now we have this. What this symbolizes is a hen laid down, ready to be bred, followed by a Jake. A mature Tom will not put up with this. He will come in and whoop this Jake's ass. Simple as that. You want to entice a mature Tom to come in and handle business and get everybody happy or excited about it. You always see in the hunting videos. This is how you do it right here. Lay down hen followed by a Jake about 2 to 3 feet apart. Again, if my setup was over here at this tree, I'm gonna position the decoys facing away from me, not to me or side, facing away from you. That will allow the gobblers to come in and kind of get behind you, or sorry, not behind you, but behind the decoy, allowing you to be able to draw your bow or get your gun ready, you know, without being seen for movement. So, yeah, my favorite setup for mid-season hunting, third, you know, could be the middle to the end of the second week, the beginning of that third week of turkey season. This is it. If I have room in my vest, I will throw this feed hen just for looks. I mean, it really doesn't, again, it doesn't matter. I think people can overcomplicate what makes a bird comfortable. Hell, I'm pretty simple. If a bird commits, it commits. If he don't, he don't. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, well, that bird didn't commit to this decoy because that hen was there. I don't know about all that. I'm not saying he does, and I'm saying he don't. And I'm not saying my way is the only way. Obviously, I've said that earlier. It's just what works for me. And what I'm confident in, I know what works. And confidence is everything in this game. So feed hen, lay down hen, ready to get bred. Jake coming in to do the breeding. If you get the attention of a dominant Tom, he is not putting up with this. He'll come in on a rope, and he will beat the shit out of this Jake. With that being said, you have to be ready for that. So that's what everybody likes to see in the hunting videos. All the Toms bouncing around and the fighting purrs and beating the shit out of Jake and watch the Jake decoy get destroyed. Well, they don't stop moving. So you as a bow hunter better be ready to take that shot, because there has been times that you don't get a shot because they just don't stop moving. Bow hunting. With a gun, maybe a little different. Bow hunting, we're bow hunters is what we're doing, bow hunting. So you gotta be ready for that shot, because when they come and they commit to this, it happens fast. If you've never seen it in real life, it happens fast. They come on a rope and they are ready to fight. So people have asked, before we move on to the late season, people have asked me when I would use a strutter. And I have to say that I actually don't use a strutter very often. I have learned that the strutter can receive a very negative or positive reaction from these birds. So what I mean by that is, if you are targeting a very specific bird, the strutter works absolutely wonderful, especially if you're in his area, in his strut zone, and you get this guy in there, he will bring him in and you will see the fight of your life. However, if you don't get him in, you will have the other strutters, the other gobblers stay away. They don't want to get their ass whooped by this guy. So this one is an iffy for me. I don't use it very often, only when I feel like I'm actually in a position to do so. I have used it and it's worked. However, again, it's not very often. This is generally something that I use personally more towards the end of the season, this guy, not the lay down, but this strutter, I will use more towards the end of the season. And I do this when, let's say we're down to the last 2 weeks of season, fighting is over. We are completely finished with all that. All of your gobblers have been henned up. You're back in the flocks. The gobblers are flying down. They're getting their hens to the roost or to the nest, and then working back around and getting them back into the roost and doing their thing. This one actually works really good for that, to entice a gobbler to come in then. So what will happen, what you'll notice is once gobblers do get henned up, they don't really care about the hens anymore. They got plenty of them. So, you know, plenty of times you've come across a field and you see 25, 30 hens out there with 4 gobblers full strut, and they're just working their way across this field. And you can sit there, you can call, you'll get them to gobble, but they're not breaking. Like, they got hens already. Well, this is how you fix that. This guy. If you know how to gobble on a mouth call, you're great. That's awesome. I do not. I'm not very good at it. I sound like a freaking idiot. So I actually gobble on a box call. Take a box call, put a rubber band around it. It's got to be the right tension. You know, hammer it. That will get the attention of those gobblers. And then at some point, you have to make sure that those gobblers see him. Now, that's why this thing has the handle in there. So you can get, you know, just say, for example, in an area where these gobblers can see him, you make a gobble for some gobblers that are henned up, and you know, shake that tail fan. However, you know, especially if you replace this with a real fan, you just make it where they can see this guy. All of a sudden, those gobblers are gonna be like, you ain't coming in here, these are my hens. And they will break then. They generally will not break for another hen, they'll break for him. So this is something that is used very strategically by me. Again, not saying the only way to do it, it's just what works for me. What has worked for me in the past. At the same time, I do think one of the number one things I have seen, I have heard, I have talked to people, is that we deploy the male decoys at the wrong time. So I do think that this needs to be strategic. This guy, full strutters need to be strategic. Otherwise, you will actually probably scare off more gobblers than you actually want to. They don't just come in and start fighting dominant gobblers look like this without a reason. So one of the number one things that I get in the shop is, Donny, man, I'm using decoys. I'm getting gobblers to come in, you know, they're getting 50, 60 yards, but I can't get them to commit. Okay, what decoys are you running? They'll say, oh, I got a lay down, a jake, and a feed. Okay, pull the jake. Get the jake out, or strutter, get the strutter out. The first thing you do, take the male decoy away, they will come. So again, you really, really, really got to be careful with the strutter. This will actually probably hurt your hunting more than it will help. And a lot of people don't tell you that, but I'm gonna be honest with you. This one will hurt your hunting more than it will help. You have to use this one correctly or you won't see shit. So that is really it. I mean, so that's one late season scenario that we just talked about. The other late season scenario is, you know, maybe you don't have them all henned up just yet. No problem. We could throw the feed hen and a lay down back out. But generally, the late season scenario involves trying to get into the henned up gobblers and what you have to do to get those gobblers to break, to come in. And this guy right here will work really well for you. As long as you do it right and don't get busted or seen, but this will work really well for you. Another late season tactic is obviously we'll just put the males away and kind of go back into a feed hen and a lookout hen and just kind of see what happens and read the language of the birds, you know. It just depends at that point. But my favorite late season tactic is this guy, believe it or not, late season guy. He works early season too, but my favorite late season is him. So anyway, that's gonna be my 3 setups that I'm gonna like the most, okay? Early season, we're gonna go lookout and a feed hen. Mid-season, we're gonna go lay down in a jake, possibly a strutter, if you're targeting a specific gobbler. and then you can throw a feed or even a lookout in there with the hens. And then late season, hopefully if I've already bagged a couple of gobblers. So I'm really just looking for like that big daddy. Late season, my strutter works really well. Strutter, even with a feed hen out there, something that gets the attention of those other gobblers in their strut zones or in their normal travel paths, to where when they don't want to pull off the hens, they will pull off to come beat the shit out of this guy. So that works really well late season. So anyway, that's Donnie's 3. That's what I like to do. Everybody's different. Everybody likes different things. I'm sure other setups have worked great for you. You can let us know in the comments. No big deal. I'm always open to trying different things. This is just what has worked for me. I have tried a lot of setups and a lot of different combinations, and these 3, in my opinion, have worked really well for me in this area. I've only hunted the Texas area, so therefore, that's what's worked. Some of you guys have probably been up to different states and tried different things and had better luck in different scenarios and blah, blah, blah. That's great. This is not the only way to do it. This works for me. If you got any questions, give us a holler. Again, I'm Donnie, STX Archery and Outdoors. Check us out, stxarchery.com. Give us a call, 361-781-5200. Anyway, happy hunting. Go bag you one.